What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm here to review Growing Up Hip Hop Season 7, Episode 1. The show is back. The episode is titled Parents Just Don't Understand, and let's jump right on into it. I'm not going to go scene by scene. I'm just going to go break down and group everybody's storyline together. So let's first start off with Angela. Y'all, Angela is back. She's hanging out with Cree, and she lets us know that she wants to be a singer. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, she doesn't want to be a singer. She just wants to be able to get her vocals together so that way she can drop a song, whatever that means. I don't know if she's going to be like talk singing, rapping, not really sure. So she ends up going to go see Mama Jan, who is a great vocal coach. She has worked with many people in the industry. I know that for sure. This was suggested to her by Cree, and we actually heard Angela sing her little whatever that was. Angela needs a whole lot of work. I would not say that she's a singer. And yeah, we'll see where this storyline goes. I'm more interested in her current personal life because, as we know, that guy, Yo Gotti, he actually bagged the girl of his dreams. Because remember, he was manifesting her on that one song. But let's go ahead and hop back into what's going on Growing Up Hip Hop. We briefly saw a conversation with Lazy Bone. Yeah, he's now a part of the show, like for real, even though I'm pretty sure he has children that are probably the age of this cast. Just throw that out there because they're not on the show. So he lets Trench know that he's been going through some things. You know, he had to drop everything to go get his daughter because his baby mama was going through some domestic issues with her man, all this stuff. I'm like, okay, great. Not great as far as what the situation was, but great that you went and got your daughter. But he's been, stressed out, whatever. So let's jump on to his bright idea. So he has this idea that because it's the 50th year of hip hop, he wants to collaborate with the younger artists on the show so they can do something. Now, I was a little confused on what exactly he meant. I don't know if he meant like them doing like a project, like an EP or something, or them just doing like a showcase. And I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a showcase, but I'm just like, we've already seen this show have multiple showcases. I don't need to see any more. I really don't. But we'll see what happens, later down the line when the more episodes air of the season. So let me go ahead and jump on over to this Denise storyline, because when I tell you I was confused, I was really, really confused. So we see that baby Joey is finally turning 1, right? Well, I shouldn't even say finally because I feel like it actually happened pretty fast. Like, I feel like we were just watching them argue about how JoJo don't step it up. Or am I crazy? Nonetheless, it's her baby's birthday. She doesn't know if her dad is going to show up or not. We learn that they don't have a good relationship. We also learn that he don't see it for JoJo. Now, my question is why? Because I feel like we were introduced to this storyline in the middle of something, but we don't know the beginning. And why I keep saying that is because we then later see them at the birthday party. She's thanking all the people who showed up or whatever. And then, no, actually before that, we saw a conversation with her mom. And then we learned who her dad was. Her dad's name is Buck. He works in the industry. What does he do? I don't know. She didn't say he was a producer. She didn't say he did A&R. She didn't say exactly what he does, but he's worked with big artists like Lil' Kim and Genuine. And we also learned that he's worked for like big labels like Sony, Epic, the big guys. So he has some type of job in the music industry. So, yeah. She talked to her mom about it, and she's like, oh, he told Tiana, which I'm going to assume that Tiana is probably her sister or something. Considering her name is Denise, I can assume Denise and Tiana. So he basically told Tiana, whoever that is, that baby Joey wasn't his grandchild. Now, my question was he joking or something? Because that makes no sense. Because, sir, how can you not claim your grandchild when this baby came from your daughter? Like, I know people like to play that game and not claim children when it's the father's baby. You know what I'm saying? But, like, it's your child's. Like, she pushed the baby out. I'm trying to understand what's going on here. So, that really did hurt her feelings, clearly. And also, he basically only acknowledges Mia. And I'm like, well, what happened that he's only acknowledging one of your children? And also what got me was that she was like, yeah, I haven't talked to my dad in like a year or whatever. And I'm like, well, what happened? Like, I feel like we still don't understand what's happening, because even when they met up later on in the episode, I was still confused. So like I said, we got to this party, everybody who loved them was there, supposedly, because I'm just like, I know that JoJo, he kind of bounces from the East Coast to the West Coast or whatever, but I'm like, it's so interesting that I understand that they're filming and stuff, but you never see like Angela there, you don't see Vanessa, you never see Diggy or Russie. I'm like, okay, and where are his parents? Like, it's just so weird. Like, I'm like, where's Rev Run? Why Rev Run ain't there? Where is Justine? Hell, where is, I can't remember her name, but where is JoJo mama at? Considering this is their grandchild's first birthday party. And y'all know, when it is a black child's first birthday party, the mama and daddy usually go all out, even though they don't really need to, because the baby ain't gonna remember it. And the grandparents are there. Where were these people at? But they weren't there. So I'm like, sheesh, you over here worried about if your daddy gonna come or not. I'm trying to figure out what Rev Run is doing. What is he doing? Is he still sending out them emails to people on the BlackBerry? So we then see that Buck has shown up, right? He picks up Mia. Clearly he has a great relationship with his granddaughter, because his granddaughter ran right to his arms. So he was happy to see her. He walks around or whatever. JoJo was kind of like looking around, peeping the scene. Did not, acknowledge the man, didn't speak to the man, and the man didn't speak to him either. So I will say, I think that Buck was waiting for JoJo to speak to him, because a lot of people who are older think that the younger person needs to speak first. I'm just throwing that out there. Not saying that it's right. I'm just saying a lot of older people think that. So he goes to see baby Joey or whatever. And I think he was trying to come in. Y'all, I'm not trying to justify this man's behavior, but I think that he was trying to come in, keep everything, looking cute, looking like, oh, we're a great family together. And if we got some issues, we handle that outside of this show, and we do not bring that to a baby's party. So Tanise had an attitude, and I'm like, Tanise, I need for you to make up your mind. Are you going to be mad that he's here, or are you going to be mad that he didn't show up? Which one do you want to happen? Do you want your daddy to be there, or do you want him to leave? Because I'm kind of confused. So literally she's like, oh, did you see Joey, whatever? And he's like, yeah, he's right here. So next thing you know, he's holding a baby or whatever, trying to bond with this baby. Keep in mind, this is the first time, I'm pretty sure, because she said she ain't talked to the man in like a year, that he's probably bonded with this baby, especially considering she had the baby during COVID. So this might be like one of the first probably couple of times he done seen this child. So he's trying to bond with the baby. She wants to have this conversation. And I'm just like, girl, this is not the time or the place. Because for some reason, Tanise felt like her dad walked in and made everything about him. And I'm sorry, y'all, I did not see it that way. I feel like that man walked into a party. Now, what bothered me was that he did not have no gifts for that child. That's what bothered me. But he walked into the party. He saw the other little girl. He greeted, his daughter. He greeted her mom or whatever. She said, have you seen Joey? Then he went to go pick the baby up. And she's like, he made it all about himself. I'm like, girl, what? You made it about your dad. Like, I'm sorry. I have to be accountability police here. You made this situation about your dad. If it was me, I would have just mentioned to him like, Dad, I I'm so glad that you're here. I just want to let you know that I do want to have a conversation with you at some point. You know, it doesn't have to be today, but I would like to have a conversation with you to talk about some things. And then we could have got another scene, you know, maybe next week. You get what I'm saying? But no, you decided to go over there and stir something up. So we finally see them go outside or whatever. The dad already lets her know, I don't want to have this conversation. He said he didn't want to have a problem with, I guess, the Hayes or the Simmons family, which stood out to me. I'm like, there is an underlying issue that we are not talking about, because what is his reasoning for feeling some type of way about JoJo that much, for him to mention the Simmons, and for him to be like, yeah, that's your husband, but why didn't he speak to me when I walked in the room? And I will say this, valid, because at the end of the day, I wish that both of these men would have put their pride aside and spoke to each other. Because one thing that I noticed, which kind of bothered me, maybe the cameras didn't catch it, but JoJo never stepped in to even check on Tanise. Like, I get it, she was talking to her dad, and that may be her own personal family issue. You know what I'm saying? But if it was my husband, I would have appreciated if he would have checked in and be like, babe, don't even try to argue with your dad. Like, let this just be about Joey. Like, or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wish that, like, JoJo would have said something. And I don't mean that he had to say something to her dad, but he could have at least said something just to support her so that she felt better. So we see them attempt to have a conversation yet again. And I'm like, girl, you should have left this alone. So they ended up talking about how Buck was dead wrong for saying that Joey wasn't his grandkid. Now, y'all, I understand, but I just feel like there's no way he could have realistically said that and it wasn't a joke. Like, I feel like it was maybe a situation where he's like, you know, Mia, like, she got my heart, so that's my grandchild. And he had not even met Joey yet. Like, I don't know. I just think it's weird for her to carry on this storyline about how he said that the baby wasn't his grandchild when the baby came from you. Like, make it make sense. And also, I have to give this man some credit. He did show up. Like, we've never seen him on the show before. I feel like he has never tried to get, like, fame off the show like some other parents have. And this is the first time we're seeing him. He showed up to the birthday party. This is why I keep saying, Tanise, what did you want? Did you want him to show up and, you know, get to know baby Joey? Or would you have rather him not showed up and then you still would have been mad? Like, I'm confused. So I don't know. I feel like this conversation could have went so much better. And also, I think that he would have taken it and understood better if Tanise would have told him, you really hurt me by not claiming Joey as your grandchild, because you already know that he's your grandchild. Like, what would make you say that? Like, I feel like she should have expressed that a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Because the way she kind of approached it and said it, like, yeah, like, that wasn't cool that you said that. Like, you need to sometimes let people know how you emotionally feel so that they get it. Like, no, you hurt my feelings. By saying something that's like, oh no, that's not cool, that makes things very nonchalant. So Buck actually ends up leaving and Tanisha storms off. And I'm just like, but the problem here is that now how do we fix this situation? Because when he was spending time with his grandchild, you didn't want him to do that. And now you're going to probably go back into this party. Knowing Tanise, she's very sensitive. It'll probably make her very emotional. Like, I'm just saying, like, this was blown up and it didn't have to be. But let's go ahead and move on, because we really need to talk about Egypt and Sam. Y'all, we come back and we learn that Egypt is pregnant. Yes, I know the blogs have been talking about it. And yeah, Egypt is going to be having a baby. She's very excited. Peppa is excited. Y'all, we actually saw Sam's other child. Now, I don't know what that child name was, because I don't know if it was like Princess, Prince Kiss, like Princess. I don't know. Princess, I don't know. Y'all, All I know is this name was spelled with an X, and then there was like some other letters. I was confused. So, cute little boy though. Sam, he's definitely happy about this. But let's not forget, Sam still has a case that he needs to go ahead and fight. So, we also learned that Egypt actually suffered a miscarriage right before she got pregnant with this baby. So, this is her having a rainbow baby. Good for her, I guess, even though Sam is a baby daddy. Let me go ahead and move on to this other scene though, because we saw their house, y'all. First of all, they moved to an outer skirt of Las Vegas. Now, me being from LA, I hear people that move on the outskirts of LA all the time because they want peace and all this stuff. That's the norm around here. But Vegas, anybody who moves to Vegas, they will tell you if you live on the outskirts of, anything besides like the strip area, there's nothing in Vegas. It's boring in Vegas. So for her to be talking about all this country living and all this stuff, I'm like, Egypt, you ain't spent not a one day in the country. What do you mean you've always been a country living girl? Since when? You literally have lived with your mom and your dad. I'm pretty sure they've only lived in places like LA, Jersey, and New York. Girl, what are you talking about? Anyways, y'all, we saw the house in that city that who knows what that was. The house was a house. That's what I'm going to say. Because they had some real tacky furniture in that house. I'm like, what is happening? Now, they have done some remodeling and, this is their house. This is what they paid for. I'm just like, what more can I expect out of Sam and Egypt? Because that furniture... And then they had those TJ Maxx photos on the wall with the lips and the lipstick thing. I was like, you know what? Too much is happening. So Peppa actually came over. She wanted to give them a photo so that, she can put it, they can put it in the baby's room or whatever. And, which reminds me, am I the only one who was weirded out the way she hugged Sam when she first walked in? She literally got kind of like, ooh, Sam, or whatever, and kind of forgot she was going to be visiting her daughter or something, because Egypt was like, oh, I'm right here. And she kind of like jumped back a little bit. I was like, what's going on with you and Sam, girl? That was really weird. Like, I don't know. I just got a little weirded out the way Peppa and Sam were. So, let's talk about what we find out. Peppa also wanted to come over so that way she can tell Egypt that she has, talked to the people over the tour that she does. Now, y'all, I cannot lie. Peppa has been doing this tour for a couple of years now. I don't know, it's called like the old school block or whatever it's called, but they have been doing this tour for years. And it's her, New Kids on the Block. I think Nelly has been with them a couple of times. TLC, it's always some random mix or whatever. So she basically finessed it so that Egypt will have an opening spot. And I'm like, well, didn't y'all just tell us that Egypt was pregnant? So when she gonna have time for this? Egypt is excited. She's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, I'm gonna have like my own, glam team, and they have to do costumes and they have to do choreography, all this stuff. But then they finally realized, like, oh, but you're pregnant, so you're going to be doing all this while you're pregnant. And I'm like, so how long does she have to get all this together? Because it's not easy to come up with all the things that you're going to do for a tour. Like, is she only doing spot dates? I'm just kind of confused here because, again, she's pregnant. So maybe this will be happening real soon and it's only going to be like for a few dates here and there. But we shall see if they show it on the show. Oh, but let me also talk about Sam. First off, when Peppa said, oh, I got you on the tour that I'm doing, his first reaction was, oh, is it just her or us? Like, Sam, what are you talking about? You should have already known that it's only going to be for Egypt. She was speaking directly to Egypt. Like, I'm sorry, this man has been riding on her skirt tail since he met her. And what's bothering me is that the family is just now realizing that. Because, like, Peppa was like, no, this is just going to be for Egypt or whatever. Sam, he's supportive. But we already know he was definitely in his feelings that this was an opportunity for Egypt yet again, and he's not involved with it. Because y'all saw how Peppa had to, like, help his little ego and be like, all the songs that you produced and all this stuff to make him feel better. Bye, Sam. Oh, and that also brings me back to the conversation that Lazy Bone was having with Tretch, because Tretch feels some type of way about Sam. We have all been talking about how Sam is a terrible person and why he should not be with Egypt. Why are you just now noticing that every time you call your daughter, Sam is right there, the phone's on speaker, he's talking instead of her? He's been doing that. But you sat up there and got mad at Brianna, whatever season that was, because she was trying to let your whole family know he is a trifling dude and he's basically trying to come up off your daughter. Now y'all got to deal with the consequences. Y'all are stuck with him because this girl is head over heels for him and he ain't going nowhere. So we also saw Sam go meet up with Lil Easy and what's that guy's name? Devin, I think. Yeah, random meetup. The only thing that happened was he let them know that he has a baby on the way with Egypt. And of course, we also learned about his court case. It has gotten pushed back. I feel like this is like the second, third time he done told us that his case has gotten pushed back, but he's still facing 4 felonies. And I'm just like, dude, you don't see that as a problem? Because I know I do. Oh, but let's go ahead and talk about how Tretch and Sam meet up at this jewelry store. So he over and talk about how, these are jewels, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the meat of the potatoes of this conversation, y'all. So he asked Sam how many kids he got. Sam said he got 2 and 1 on the way. And he's like, well, that's like grown man stuff, You really basically got to get it together. And I'm like, no. Sam has already had these previous 2 children. Y'all should have been asking him, how is he providing for those other 2 children, as well as being able to afford a lifestyle for him in Egypt a long time ago. I'm so confused as to why is it because, Egypt's having a baby now. So now we need to act real concerned about Sam and if he's going to really step up to the plate. This man ain't never had to step up to the plate with them other 2 kids. So she's going to be the same way. Like, I'm trying to understand where Tretch is coming from with this is a whole nother level of being a grown man. How? He already had kids? Like, nothing's changing here, except for another mouth to feed. So we then have Tretch going on and on about how, they're not going to be able to fall back on him. Or should I say, Sam won't be able to fall back on him because if anything basically goes down to where they need a place to stay or something, Egypt can stay, the kids can stay, Sam got to find somewhere else to go. So Tretch also explains how, Egypt needs somebody to talk to. Of course, she has her mom. She has Cicely, who is his wife, I believe. But she needs another person who's in her age group that she can talk to because it doesn't make sense that all she has is Sam. So, especially with her about to have a baby. And then Sam was like, well, who do you suggest? And he's like, well, TT literally just had a baby. Which is very true. Maybe she can help her out, give her some tips, something. But with Sam hovering, none of that can happen. So Tretch basically wants to know, what is this young man's plan? Because you have a baby on the way, and Tretch feels like before that baby is born, you should definitely have a plan. Y'all, Sam got up there and was like, you dropped a lot of jewels on me. I'm always going to do music. I have a fight coming up. And Tretch literally asks, like, so is it paying? And he's like, no, not the first fight. So, sir, he's trying to figure out, what are you doing to make an income? What are you doing to make money? Like, you cannot support 3 children, a wife, yourself. Considering y'all supposedly just bought a house, how are you going to support all that? Oh, my bad. It's because you think that these TV checks are always going to come rolling in. And no, you need something else. So according to him, we're all going to see what he has planned. Yeah, okay, Sam. Y'all, that was pretty much the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Yeah. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys.